tank got the pros of an autoloader without the cons. And though the damage per shot isn't huge, and the gun depression makes it harder to use terrain, the tanker was thrilled. He immediately fell in love with the tank's agility, streamlined shape, and strong, reliable turret. But most of all, he loved the auto-reloader. The engineer had made the tank of his dreams. But he wasn't just going to give his best creation away. A vehicle like this, he said, must be earned in fierce combat, in clan wars. I would rather keep the 907 with a 3D style than a unproven ST62 version number 2 from a old man IS-3A. He has a beard and very thick pair of eyebrows. Hephaestus? No, just a random bearded IS-3. But, well folks, it was a premium tier 9 Russian light tank, and then a premium tier 8 medium tank, and now a special tier 10 for clan wars. The frog, the toad, that is the ST62 version number 2. So you're competing against the 907, obviously, and they removed the chieftain from the rotation, so yeah, everybody's picking the 907 if they don't have it. But or VK72, yeah, some of these vehicles are outdated, like the M60 or the E6. 116 F3 needs a buff. They nerfed the crap out of it. Nerfed the DPM from like 2400, 2300 to like sub 2000. God, it sucks. I mean, it has the armor, but Jesus, they nerfed the crap out of the firepower. But yeah, no chieftain. So you're obviously picking the 907 if you can, or VK72. But then again, this is basically the original Kampfpanzer Mark 7 with a large gun compared to the 128. But alright, let's take a look and do a recap on the ST62 version number 2, just so where the hell do you shoot at it, right? It's a frog. It's a weird shape of a hull design, so more like a chibi or cartoon version of a 907 or 274A to a lesser degree. But where the hell do you shoot at it? Shoot the hull front, shoot the frog face. It is very cramped of a vehicle, but then again, Russians are notorious for cramped vehicles. A penetrating shot will likely kill some of the crew members or damage the modules, but auto-reloader, 3 rounds in the clip. Decent enough of a burst fire module damage, but does it compete with the 590? 590's accuracy sucks, and the reload time is very long for the non-full clip reload. But it has some of the armor, mostly for the turret, and the cupola is smaller than the 907. But let's see, 4-man crew. Yep, 4-man crew still. It's very cramped. Auto reloader, 100mm. 3 rounds in the clip, 2 seconds between each shot. 8 seconds for the first round, 14 for the last. DPM is obviously not as high as the 907, but penetration is also not as high, by like 5mm or so. But then again, all clan war vehicles that you see automatically spam gold shell, because that's the nature of those scum. See, on 907, 75 to 80% of the time he's spamming gold. I'm betting on it. So base accuracy about the same as the 907, 0.35, 2.2 seconds of aim time. It takes longer than the 907. Granted, it's an auto reloader, but whoa, turret traverse is very quick, and DPM's alright for auto reloader. The firepower is alright. I mean, it's fine, I guess, for the 320 alpha. Originally, it was like 200 alpha or 280 at tier 8. So originally, it's arbitrary of a stat for a tier 8 or tier 9. But nah, it's fine. Let's see dispersion on this vehicle. So tier 10 assault medium tank. Not bad dispersion while moving. 0.14. Could be better, like with a pattern like 0.1 or 1.2, but that's still fine for a Russian gun. Base accuracy could be buffed. Initial velocity is decent enough in terms of speed, but That's fine. It's fine of a gun. You won't have that much problem if you're close range and performing as assault medium tank, technically, but I think it's more like versatile. So how good is the actual armor on this thing? 1950 health, 100 at the hull front, and 290 at the turret front. Turret front is thicker on paper than the 907, but the hull front is not as thick, if I remember correctly. It's only about 170 compared to about 200 on the 907. You have a smaller cupola than the two on the 907. One for the loader, one for the commander, comparison to only a commander cupola, but lower play 190. It's a weird UFO shape, so bad angles will auto bounce. Yeah. There's no space armor for the toolbox on the sides. It is still V-shaped somewhat, but not as dramatic as the 907. So it is technically smaller or less long of a length for the body, but you could side scrape and throw off some of the shots, but yeah, not as much armor in terms of side scraping. Only 35 for underneath the tracks. Ugh. Yeah, super pin with high explosive sometimes, but yeah, no space armor on the hull sides for the toolbox in comparison to the 907. Yeah, there's no space armor. It's ricochet for the V-shaped hull, but yeah, ricochet then ricochet. It's only flat after the V-shape, so if you are properly shooting at the tracks, like right here, you will pin. So not as crazy as the 907, but you have less cupola on top. That's fine. And the hull is about the same. Yeah, we're taking into AP consideration for the in-game model. That's why it's about 170, 180 or so. Normalization of the AP round, but just to show you the 907. Yeah, the cupola is more prominent on the 907. You have two of them, but yes, the edges are 230. You have to shoot at the center mass, which is like only 40. What the hell? 230? Or shoot the actual roof of the turret. So yeah, you think it's 2 cupola, but it's 230. That's a troll. Yeah, hull front is 10 more millimeters, but the sides have space armor, I believe. Yep, 10 millimeter of shielding after the V-shaped hull. So the armor on this vehicle is very troll, and that's why you'll likely pick this vehicle if you have the chance. But yeah, if you're not hitting center mass, you're likely bouncing on this thing. So it's mostly about the gun. But mobility wise, 18.4 horsepower per ton ratio, not half bad. 50 kilometers per hour top speed, buff with equipments, but hull traverse, turret traverse is very quick, so that's pretty nice. 38 tons, surprisingly heavy for a cartoonish of a vehicle, but camo, alright. I mean, 16.5 is above average, but I would expect about 18 or something. That's fine, I guess. And 390 meters of view range. That's pretty average. You want about 400 at least. Maybe 420 if you're good, but nah, it's not 420. Blaze it. So overall, I feel this vehicle is fine. I mean, dispersion is alright. Terrain resistance is pretty decent for that horsepower per ton ratio, so not bad. Let's just compare with a 907. Object 907. And you can see less DPM, obviously. Slightly worse accuracy, longer aim time, dispersion while moving. But you do have 1 more degree of gun depression and elevation, or 4 more degrees of gun elevation, but revs up faster at the cost of top speed. About the same terrain resistance. Interesting. So this thing will go through mud slightly slower because of the soft, even though it has better terrain resistance. That's interesting. Trade-offs. Slightly less health, less hull armor, but technically stronger turret front at the cost of the cupola weakness even though you have less cupola. And less view range. Less camo, surprisingly. Oh. Slower shell velocity, but you do carry more ammo, so you can spam more. 50 rounds for a 3-round clip. That does not compute. That's fine. So overall, I feel it's fine. I mean, it's a different iteration of the original vehicle. Originally, it was a medium tank with more DPM. 220 alpha damage, but it's also a single shot, not a auto reloader. So it's more like the titty. And dispersion while moving is crazy good. Shell velocity is not that bad. It fires APCR round. The same terrain resistance, but better top speed at the cost of horsepower per ton ratio. And I have the original ST version, super test version of the light tank version of this thing, but I mean, it's alright. Has less armor, obviously, for a light tank, but still troll. The same view range at a tier lower, but better horsepower per ton ratio, better top speed. All arbitrary for World of Tanks. You can just tweak it. Nobody would know. But still weighs about 38 tons. 5 more rounds, surprisingly. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's a premium tier 9 as a light tank, but they move stuff about. Like with the Leg Panzer 70K, that was a tier 10 light tank, now a tier 8 light tank. So I don't know, I still feel like you'll pick the 907, right? 907 is very popular. And then maybe VK72 or Chieftain. You're not picking the Chieftain. They're not giving out the Chieftain. So yeah, you're picking likely the 907, but I have no idea how the fame points work. Maybe you can get the 116F3 for cheap. Maybe, I don't know. But originally we did the video back in January of 2023. That put a rating on this thing. 5.5 as a light tank. Errata, if supposed to be... Oh, there was an errata? Alright. 7 out of 10 as a light tank. But, I don't know. I mean, it still feels okay. I mean, it's still better than the 116F3, right? So this thing is about a 6. 116F3 was originally a 7, but they nerfed the crap out of the DPM and some of the gun performance. So I would say 907 is like a 7.5 maybe, right? This is a very good vehicle. It's behind a Clan Wars wall, if you will, but this vehicle is, I feel, still decent. But comparison to the 907, it's more like a 6 compared to a 7.5 or 7. So you'll have relatively the same amount of decency or fun with this vehicle as with the 907. But if you already have the 907, hey, another one. So another crew trainer for the medium tanks of the Russians. But yeah, we haven't talked about equipment and field mods. Oops. Forgot. Yeah, these vehicles. So basically, turbocharger, optics, I would say vertical stabilizer, shooting while moving, make it a little bit better, right? I mean, the rest of the stuff not really necessary, like enhanced gun lane drive or improved hardening. Nah, you don't need that. Just go with better mobility, more view range, and a firepower boost, or perhaps improved aiming with better accuracy. 0.35 accuracy is not great, so maybe this, right? But field mods wise, for assault medium tank, let's just configure. And field mods, first one, you already have very quick traverse. Very quick traverse. Just go with better protection or less penalty of a damaged gun and engine. Or is engine or ammo rack? Engine. Nothing about the ammo rack. Oof. Alright, that's only the engine and gun, not the ammo rack? You still get a DPM cut. If you get a... okay, fine, whatever. Dispersion while moving or base accuracy. If you're having the improved aiming or enhanced gunner sights, I would say better dispersion while moving. And sometimes you're playing these things aggressively, right? You're moving about, you're traversing about to throw off the shots, so you're not exactly fully aimed. I would say better dispersion while moving. Be a little bit more aggressive at the cost of accuracy. Camo or reverse speed. If you already have turbocharger, better camo. And camo always performs better than reverse speed, right? I would say camo. 16.5 to 19.5, that is big. I would say camo. And vehicle hit points or aim speed. You're not getting that much hit points, only 60. At the cost of almost 0.1 seconds of aim time. This one's up to you, but I would say better aim speed, right? It doesn't have the 907's aim time. Give it better aim speed. And finally, view range or engine power. Dispersion during gun traverse. That's also pretty prominent. Oh, this is a tough mix-up. I mean, I feel this vehicle is more like versatile because of the hull armor. So I would say better view range and less dispersion while traversing the gun. You're not fully taking the shots like with the E50M or 430U. So you're not fully committed to assault, in my opinion. So the cut to the engine power is about 0.5 of a horsepower per ton ratio, so that's okay if you already have turbocharger, but you have better view range, and view range on this vehicle is not the greatest. So increased by 12 meters, not bad, and dispersion while gun traversing. So I would say view range than engine power, but overall I'll still feel it's relatively okay if you're playing Clan Wars. But what about the skin for this vehicle? I have no idea. So there's a skin. We have pictures of it, but not featured. I guess comes later, maybe, of the frog with now mantis blades at the front, but somehow this looks more menacing, I guess, than the 907, even though firepower wise, yeah, you would rather fear the 907. I keep forgetting the 907's cupola are 230mm flat. So I thought, hey, shoot the cupola with gold shell. Sometimes there's even a pin in tier 8s. Sucks. But yeah, tier 10 special vehicles, most exclusively from like Clan Wars or auction, like the day after auction, you'll see them spamming a lot of gold shells. A lot of freaking gold shells. Sometimes they don't even need it for tier 8s, but no, they spam gold. Because they're scum. But this vehicle feels fine. I mean, it feels better than the 116 F3. So you won't have that bad of a time in comparison to the likes of, yeah, the 116 F3 or perhaps the E6. The T95 E6. But yeah, they need a buff on this thing. I mean, I don't even have it, but I'm advocating for a buff on this thing. This thing needs a buff. That's actually the skin too, with the machine gun cover. But okay, I don't have the camo on it, but whatever. So put all these vehicles, or at least put the non-popular ones, into the bond shop. Why don't they do that? They put crap like the WZ-114. This is a piece of crap. It's only 2,000 bonds more than the 252U. Funny enough, but yeah. Put all the vehicles, like the M60, the WZ-121B. Why not? Put all these vehicles in the bond shop. You can. They're not that popular. They're old too. Why not, right? And where the hell is the 121B? It's practically the same vehicle as the 121, just a smaller chassis with a L7, not a 122. It's a 122 or 130. 122. It's not 130. Is it 130? Yeah, it's 122. It's not 130. That would be crazy. It's not the 113 of a vehicle. 113 is also 120, 122. Only the 5A is 130. Okay, we're just going off tangent. But yeah, some of the vehicles really need some love. Like this thing. I love my T62A. I had it before. Actually, I had it second after the 140. But I prefer this thing over the 140. Before the buff to the 140. But yeah, they don't care about stuff like the T62A or AMX 30B. They don't give a shit. old vehicles, no skin. This is a skin mod. So vehicles like the T62A has no style, has no battle pass, has nothing to do with it. There's no 3D style because nobody cares about vehicles like this, legacy vehicle or collector's vehicle. Whereas something like an Object 140 has like 3 skins or something, or 4? 3 skins. One from Battle Pass, one from Waffenträger, one from Holiday Ops. Yeah, and 0 skin for the T62A. God damn it. Well, there you go, folks. ST62 version number 2. Get the 907 initially, but I still feel it's not that bad. It's still kind of trollish in armor. Not as much as the 907, but hey, it's like a 6 out of 10. But as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you're playing Clan Wars, good luck to you. I mean, it's like ranked in a sense, somewhat, but yeah, I don't like ranked. I don't like onslaught, but if you're going to do it for a tier 10, it's better than a copy, right? A copy of a Stinger or T57 or CS63. I mean, it's at least unique, but Clan Wars is Clan Wars. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
思い出せる世に残された目印ああえいやああふわああえやまるでおとぎの話終わり迎えた証私を変えた出会い100分の1の旅路